Welcome to the Think Tank. Each day we share the news in open dialogue and discuss how it might affect the business world. We speak with different leaders on crisis navigation and management, as well as experts in professional and personal self-betterment. It's meant to be a break in some learning and sharing of good news and ideas to start people thinking and moving forward. It's called the Think Tank. And the only person here is Mike Toman, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! And Scott Anderson. Hey guys, so welcome to the Think Tank. There's nobody here and there's nothing planned. Does anyone have anything they would like to share for the big day on Monday?
Chicken sales are up.
Oh, there you go.
Chicken sales are up. People are buying their own chickens instead of going to the store waiting for eggs.
And then they can't give them away on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just having to slaughter. I heard some complete backward Texan whatever guy on going, yeah, so what we do is we just go straight to the farmers and buy all of our meat and take it right to the people that need it. No stores in between.
Wow.
So I don't know how that works. They still need the same trucks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Farmers markets are getting, popular again, at least around here anyway.
So have you guys been out of consequence anywhere?
No, actually, I took my mom to breakfast this morning, and the place with nobody in it.
Really?
Coffee and pancakes. Yeah, nobody in it. It was kind of early, like 8:30. So yeah, everybody was wearing a mask, but we were the only ones in it.
Huh.
But I wanted to see what breakfast was like. If people
Yes, the Waffle House isn't as popular as it used to be.
Yeah.
I went to a gringo taco place, actually with Alberto this morning, and there was no one there, nor could you eat inside.
Really?
Did it have patio dining?
Yeah, but that was not allowed either. It was Taco Deli. We had gone over to Fort Worth, so we just stopped in there and they said, sorry, here's your stuff. Here's a bag.
Yeah, we actually ate Mexican food yesterday on a patio.
You did?
But they were letting people have space inside, but no one wanted to sit there. They wanted to go outside. It was only like 4 tables at 2:00 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Somebody was not able to drive when I walked in. They're like, they were there for a while. So I mean, you can take over a place. I mean, that's kind of what it's like. You can walk into a place and take over. I mean, if you really wanted to go have a place with your buddies to go and hang out, there's no one in places.
Yeah, actually, we went to a place last weekend, not this past weekend, but a week ago. We went to a place down. Where is it? It's down kind of between McKinney and like the West Village, or not West Village, where the American Airlines Center is, Victory Park. Yeah, it was a taco place. There were like five groups of people there for lunch. It was brunch last Saturday.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, all the waiters and waitresses had masks on and gloves, but there were five groups of people in the restaurant, all spaced out.
It's like whoever was saying, I mean, you can't run a restaurant at 50%, let alone 25%.
Yeah.
No, and I thought the patios would be real popular because this weather doesn't last that long, and patios usually are just jam packed. It's it's hard to get a spot if it was in normal times.
I did hear an article about in DC, one of the restaurants is putting a bunch of mannequins in the empty seats.
I saw that.
and they're all dressed too, so to try and make it feel full. Speaking of mannequins, there's Robbie. Showing off in Charleston.
I love Charleston.
How was the flight?
Are you in Charleston or Savannah?
It was Savannah, then Charleston.
Yeah, it's super interesting, because when I tell you that people here do not understand that there's a pandemic around the world, it's absolutely amazing. It's mind-boggling. I sent Kimball, I think Sam too, a photo from Savannah, and I'm like, let's play find the mask, because big groups of people and nobody has a mask on. It's the craziest thing.
My brother just left Asheville. He just moved out of Asheville back to Chicago. And he was talking about that exact same thing, that if you didn't know it, if you walked around the streets of Asheville, you would not know that COVID exists.
Oh, literally the reason I was late, I was across the street getting a tour of their new hotel, the MON, which is beautiful. Next time you're in Charleston, check it out. But the Adolphus, which opens on Thursday, we've talked about it before. They're having to put the crazy plexiglass around that beautiful check-in area at the Adolphus, and they're doing nothing at Emmeline, and they're doing nothing in Savannah in terms of just including, obviously front desk people are wearing masks and things of that nature, but nothing from a precaution standpoint. So, because it's not required here. So anyway. All good. Flight was fine. No drama. People were wearing masks. People paid attention. I felt completely safe, for what it's worth.
So on your flight, there was no beverage or snack service?
No, that's right, Scott. They're not doing any beverage. There's zero interaction, really. I told these guys, I can't remember who I told, but the DFW was, the one I went into in particular was, gosh, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. Well, they're not serving you drinks, but you can buy little small bottles, right?
Right.
I think I told y'all that. Yeah, but once you get on the I asked when I got on the airplane, I said, could I get a cup of ice? And the flight attendant was like, ooh, I don't know. Let me go see if we have any ice. So they were able to bring me a cup of ice. But yeah, no service. They ask you to put the mask on, but they're not enforcing. I honestly didn't see anyone take the mask off once they were on the airplane, though.
Did everyone have them on?
And I sat next to a gentleman that I didn't know from Adam. Super nice guy, but he wore his the whole time as well. And everybody around me, y'all saw I lifted the computer. It was pretty packed. But I don't know. Was there an announcement in Dallas about going to 50%? I heard that was it Governor Abbott that was supposed to make an announcement opening up 50% instead of 25? Anybody hear that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Ask Alberto about 51%, but other than that, I don't know anything about 50%.
True that.
Alberto played golf on Friday. He was playing on golf on Friday with a doctor from one of these hospital groups. No masks, handshakes, and everything. He's like, man, we're just waiting for something to come. It's not here yet. So that was interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how many doctors are on different sides of this whole thing.
I ran into a friend running at the lake yesterday, and the closest we came was the fist bump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know at salons, they're washing your shoes at salons. My buddy Albert and I has a salon. No waiting in the salon. So if your chair's not ready, you go wait in your car and they come get you when it's ready. When you do come in, your shoes get washed, and it's like kind of like I went over there. It looks like a little like a bath, like if you were having it in the wet room or somewhere in an industrial warehouse, which is where you shake your boots off. Do that, go in and get sanitized. Everybody's wearing a mask, gloves, everything. There's a section between each, so there's no chair. It's chair, empty chair, empty chair. And that's how they're doing it. And they're working 2 shifts though. They're working 2 6-hour shifts. So they're there a lot. They're having to scramble to get everybody, rebooked. And
they're totally busy, huh?
Yeah, they're totally busy, but they can't fill the salon up with all their staff. So they just have half of them come in the morning The other half will stay at, before lunch and then after 8 o'clock. So they're working 2 6-hour shifts, I guess, compared to, for 2 salons too. But
I think it's going to be interesting. Different cities, that how quickly some cities come back, and how during what was it, 2008, Phoenix took a bath, Vegas took a bath. It'll be interesting to see who really takes a hit. Obviously, New York, the Northeast, some of those places. But again, not to keep hitting on it, but my only quick, sort of up close and personal reference. Next weekend, Savannah, at least at that hotel, the Elite, is expecting 50% occupancy. So it'll be interesting to see with the Adolphus and with some of the surrounding properties in Dallas opening. People that are typically going out of state for vacation, maybe it's the whole market could be changing, the business mix, for some of these properties where it's not all about business travel initially. It's clearly about trying to capture the drive market.
Local vacations.
And the families.
Yeah. Well, and we talked to Christine about that a while back too. Remember, because I know Asheville's mix is well over 50% drive. I think they've estimated that on their vacation, they're in the 70 to 75% drive range. It's all, tri-state stuff, driving down to Asheville. And I know that trickles all the way down into Savannah and everything else. And so it's interesting when you look at the airlines, at less than 10% of occupants or capacity, needing to get to 77% for break even, will places like Savannah and Asheville and the ones that are drive centric come faster than Vegas and Orlando, which are plane centric? Will people want to get out, or, and will the lack of desire to get to an airport or an airplane inhibit that?
Crazy.
Yeah, my brother-in-law works for a law firm, and they're all working from home. No one's coming in.
Yeah.
Everything is on. It's just forget it. He's not a lawyer. He's an IT guy, but he's responsible for hooking all these people up at home. And that's kind of been his thing for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, my brother works for AIG, the giant insurance company, and they're in the middle of trying to decide how many people they can prevent from ever coming back to the office.
Really?
I mean, they've taken this now and they've gone away from it being a COVID thing and saying, okay, we've now had to force it. We now know it can work. And so how much real estate can I offload?
Yeah.
It's now, I mean, and this is, hundreds of thousands of employees in this company, and they're on just an absolute, screaming search to see how much, real estate they can shed.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone looks at what their business is and then how it operates and how they need to operate it.
Right. Well, and is it an opportunity to do something that has nothing to do with COVID? I mean, because my brother, he runs a global piece of this business, and he's right now, he moved back to Chicago and he's negotiating, and they're looking at a 3/4 reduction of the real estate they have in the Chicago area.
Yeah, I mean, it expedited all those draggers of technology that that'll never work, and you have to do all that.
Yep.
They had to in a day, and now they're looking at it going, does it make sense? Does it work? Is it enough to get by?
Yep. And can I save $1 trillion a year on leases?
I'm just I'm interested to hear. Maybe I should get my brother-in-law on, who is he basically builds and leases out massive shopping centers. To hear what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. We're talking about restaurants opening and hotels and transportation happening, but what does a clothing store do?
Well,
a lot of online purchasing.
Yeah. But so what about all these malls?
Oh, they're looking at the death knell of most of these. There's article after article after article that's talking about, with JCPenney's bankruptcy and J. Crew and all these others, the malls could be at 30% occupancy, and that's obviously not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just have to relook at all that stuff too, because obviously there's a need for their product. It's just how they distribute it and how you touch it now.
Yep.
There was an article, we talked about this a few weeks ago, where it's basically COVID just was basically fast track what was inevitably going to happen.
Yeah.
In terms of the brick and mortar retail stores, in the malls.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The thing about that is just, I know, just shooting for those folks, e-com, they think that the web customer is the dumbest thing on earth. They've just got to shoot it every which way, but Sunday, make sure it shows, because the return on an online purchase is like money out of their pocket. They can't, whatever they can do to make it not come back. Make sure the color's right. Make sure it's scaled to size. Make sure any objection that you can come up with is, just make sure it's not coming back. So, I don't know if that's a bright side for us, for me anyway, for people who know what they're doing with the camera, because there's so much out there that is not done well. Retail, as far as e-com stuff, you can see it. You can see the bad and the good and the ugly. One of my other clients, Pinto Ranch, their online store is doing way better than their other stores. They got a store in Vegas, they got a store in Dallas, two in Houston, one at the airport in Houston, and everything is going through online, pretty much. They're calling other stores just to pull off stuff. We sold it online, so ship it from your store because we don't have enough. And they're also running less ads because they're not able to keep stuff that's in the ad on the shelf. Because I don't know if it's just the way they get their stuff, but it's a lot more of it's just going off just flying in as soon as it gets in, flying out. So there's no, they're not advertising as much, which I don't know if that's, they cut me off a little bit, but we're still shooting, but just not as much. A lot of it's online and a lot of it's just little vignettes. And so there's no full page of Southwest and Cowboys and Indians. They still do that, but they're not going after some of these other places. They're not competing with, with their smaller brethren anymore.
Hey, Doug, what do you think it's going to do to the WeWork space mentality? I mean, people are still gonna, even if you're forced to work from home, it's an interesting dynamic because you're still gonna wanna, those people still need to, in some ways, be able to go somewhere to work.
So I think what you're gonna see, first of all, WeWork specifically is in massive trouble for different reasons.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I used that term. It's like, yeah. So
the lawyer in me made me, be specific. But if you look at the dynamic and the design of space, I think what you'll see, and we looked at this. I mean, back in my AT&T days, we were looking at this in the 80s and early 90s. Can we create, if you want to, can we own and create where we have centers of need, if you're a big company, for a WeWork-like thing, but in a smaller environment? So you telework, most of the time, but we're going to create in a central location. Here's 4 conference rooms and some other things that we can create collaborative space that you got to travel to. But you just don't need buildings full of stuff. I think you'll see that come up, which if you're, for example, if you're a Regis or somebody like that is, and Regis is not a terribly great service company, but it gives their model a phenomenal opportunity to go and sell, right? You're going to see the commercial real estate, which I think is going to have a huge struggle here for the next few years. The smarter ones of those are going to go rethink their floor plans and do some things where they can do a long-term lease with a mid-sized to larger company to create shared space. WeWork's about the gig worker, the small worker, the work at home guy that wants an office of his own someplace. This is going to be a shift to how do I repurpose my commercial space to fit the bigger company who has their folks at home, but it needs to pull them together in a regional quote unquote site. I think that's going to be a big opportunity for somebody. Because AT&T canceled $100 million plan for downtown. You're seeing Exxon canceled stuff, on the commercial side, but there's got to be the opportunity to do different kinds of collaboration. We can't just shift to Zoom forever. So.
Yeah, AT&T was supposed to open that $300 million new entertainment, restaurant, retail area right there. But I think it's done. I think for the most part it's done. Now whether they get it ultimately leased out, that'll be different. I don't know if that'll happen.
And if I was a hotel, I would look and see if I have excess space that I could turn into, contracted space where you get X number of days a year. You just have to schedule into it like a timeshare for a company, where I didn't have to, lease the whole set. I could go to your hotels, Christine, and say, I want to have 3 weeks worth of time in ballrooms. How do I timeshare it? As opposed to just having permanent space that is, unoccupied a bunch of the time.
Well, I mean, is that not something office buildings may look at? I mean, it seems like that could be another,
Sure. I was astounded today when I saw that the airline average break-in or break-even was 77% capacity.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard you say that. That's crazy.
I'm sorry I've repeated myself, but that number has been rattling around in my head all day because it's so stunning. One of the heads of the IATA, whatever that the international
IATA,
IATA, said that, and I think it's a she. I could be wrong, but was quoted this morning as saying the days of inexpensive and bargain airfare are over.
The real luxury now.
It's going to go back to, then just do the math, right? If I had to have a 70%, 77%, fill rate, and now I can only get to 50, just do the math on what the ticket has to be for them to break even. Going to
Buy
be more.
Stock in Greyhound.
What's that?
Buy stock in Greyhound.
Yeah. But don't buy stock in Greyhound.
Yeah, don't buy. Yeah.
I know Greyhound. Don't buy stock in Greyhound. I've worked with them.
I did see that. What's the name of the train? The train program that they were trying to get implemented, constructed from Houston to Dallas.
Speed rail.
See the article today? Yeah, they're evidently supposedly one step closer to making that happen. I could see something like that taking off as well.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great.
Especially if the airlines, if it's $500 to fly to Houston for the next 2 years.
Well, just think about the East Coast too, where you've already got Amtrak in those places, but where a commuter hop in the East Coast, you can jump on a little plane for a couple $100 and it's a lot better experience than the Amtrak. Amtrak could have a huge upside from this thing. Maybe they can give some of their money to the post office.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts for today?
I saw that Alamo Draft House is starting to stream their product.
Really?
No, really?
Yeah. They're thinking just where did I see that? I saw it.
What are they have their own content?
No, their own, like just launching a streaming service of its own. Alamo Draft House On Demand service wants to bring Weird Wednesdays right to your couch.
But so they're streaming movies that you could get anywhere else, huh? Or no?
I guess so. I mean, that's going to be an interesting arrangement between them and Hollywood.
Oh, that's an uphill fight, period, for those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got HBO Max launching at the end of this month. Disney Plus is exploding. I have a hard time figuring out how Alamo can create a differentiation that would get you to buy something.
Yeah. Interesting.
Unless it's all independent.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So South by Southwest 24/7.
Yeah, kind of. But doesn't Sundance already have something like that? I thought they had a streaming service that was,
I think so too.
That was kind of festival film based stuff. Good old Robert Redford.
Yeah.
All right, gents. Well, let's wrap up, and I'm gonna look into getting some other people on this week. I don't have anything planned, so if anyone has someone they think would be interesting, let me know.
Yeah, I'm still looking into my buddy who's got the improv outfit.
That would be fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm still trying to tag him for that.
Very good. Cool. All right, guys. Alberto, keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the road, Alberto.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Take care.
Take care.